special guest to our Fayette Elementary celebration of Veterans Day.
The United Nations declared this year, 2021, as the International Year of Peace and Trust to reaffirm their goal to settle disputes peacefully.
We are here to learn more about Veterans Day. We are here to show our spirit of patriotism and to think about what it means to be Americans. We are here to honor all the men and women who have served in the military during times of war and times of peace.
Please stand as the flags are brought forward by the color guard. We will remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the Star-Spangled Banner.
Host the colors. Detail, listen.
On September 14, 1814, Francis Scott Key saw the American flag waving in the breeze at the defeat at Fort McHenry. The sight of our flag standing tall in the aftermath of war inspired him to write a poem. This poem was set to music and became known as the Star-Spangled Banner. Please join my 4th and 5th graders in singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming through star-stripes and bright stars, through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Today is our privilege to say thank you to all of America's veterans. We want them to well appreciate their service. We honor them and their families for their sacrifices. With all veterans who are here today, please stand to be recognized. Today we are honoring Mr. Sonny Yankee as our guest speaker. Sonny grew up in Postville area and graduated from Postville High School in 1965. Sonny legislated in the Navy after high school. Sonny served two tours of duty in Vietnam and was dedicated retired from the Navy. Please welcome Mr. Sonny Yankee to the stage.
It on? Yep. Okay. Technology, right? I'm 74. I'm just barely hanging in there. But anyway, I want to first of all thank Caitlin and Dalton Langford for inviting me. And it's an honor to be in front of Iowan Americans. I have such a passion and love for this country that sometimes it's a little overwhelming, but I'll try to keep everything in perspective. My name is Sonny Handke. I'm from the coastal area. Graduated 65, and I wanted to serve my country because of one president when I was in high school said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." and I never forgot that. That was President John F. Kennedy. But I just had to help out our country. And so that the young people here can kind of understand is that the country that was I went to go against, they had guns, we had guns. They believed in communism, we believed in freedom, liberties, the American way. You know, like when we were young, as farmers, farming and doing all these hard-working things, and we learned work ethics. And Iowa work ethics, I'll match with any place in the world. And so I wanted to do something. So my dad and all my uncles told me the last thing that I said to me when you go, do not volunteer for anything. Do not. Well, I went and boot camp, they had swimming, and I excelled. I am kind of ironic. I swim like a fish, and my wife sinks like a sinker. I say to myself, well, okay, I can save her anyway. But anyway, so they asked me if I would want to be UDT. It's an underwater demolition team. And I didn't know what it was, but I said, yeah, it's got something to do with water. You know, but they left out the explosives off. So anyway, I went to that school, and I was in the second to last UDT class before they changed over to the SEAL program. It's really strange. A lot more SEALs like to be called frogmen, and that's what we call frogmen. And a lot of the SEALs now want to be called frogmen. I guess they like water too. I don't know. But it's like I went over there, and I did a lot of things that, because of the nature of war, it's really difficult really to say a whole lot about it, other than the fact that I was shot the first tour, second tour I was blown up. By the time they got me, I was in a hospital in Pearl Harbor, 57 broken bones, broken neck, broken back, lost 23 teeth, jaws, and I woke up and can you imagine, 20 years old, not knowing what's going on, you're in a body cast, you're in pin traction, your jaws are wired, and they say, how do you feel? Are you serious? What do you mean, how do I feel? I don't know, where am I? But anyway, 10.5 months later I got out, and this is a disheartening thing, is that, and I don't blame the state of California at all, but when I came off the plane, hippies threw garbage at me, called me names, called me baby killer. And I told them, I said, well, maybe I did. I don't know. But why would Americans be saying that? So anyway, I got back. I spent 2 years on temporary retirement duty list, and then they medically retired me from the Navy. So I was very grateful for that. But now, as a veteran, and I cannot really put into words exactly how I feel what it's like to be a veteran. But a veteran to me is a man or woman who served in the armed forces, put their life at risk, harm's way, each and every one of them, even though they weren't in combat like me. Because I spent most of my time in Laos and Cambodia, where back here in the States they were saying, oh, we're not in Laos and Cambodia. I'm saying to myself, golly, I wonder where I'm at. I'm running up these supply lines, blowing up ammunition depots, fuel depots, supply depots, bridges. If I'm not doing that in Laos and Cambodia, we're in the heck of my hat. We're in the heck of my hat. So, the veteran that goes through that and goes through all those things, I go down to the VA and I see veterans from Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, and some from Vietnam. No legs, no arms and everything like that and stuff. And I sit there and I don't have to say a word. They just need to talk to another combat veteran that understands how the fear, there's a completely different, you watch TV and you see all these things happening on TV, there's a lot of difference between smelling and tasting. I got some of my blood on foreign soil. Matter of fact, they brought me back, they said 2 or 3 times from bleeding out, so I guess I got a lot too much blood over there. But anyway, it's a veteran is someone that, if you have an uncle, an aunt, a cousin, a grandpa, or a grandma, and that stuff, that is a veteran, when you hug them a little extra hard because you don't know what they've been through. Maybe they didn't go through too much, Maybe they went through 2 months. But hug them. And like I say, if you got someone that are overseas, and send them a letter. Because when I'd get a letter, it was like, oh my God, like Christmas. You know, it was escape from where you were at to read the letter about they got the corn out, or they got the beans out, or, I mean, anything like that to escape from where you were at. And also, too, I was 19 and 20 years old when I was over there. You know, as far as innocence goes, well, after I left there was not too much innocence left in me. But there was a lot of pride in it, and like, I cannot really put into words how I feel to be an American, to be a veteran. And, you know, there's things going on that I don't agree with, but most importantly is that we're in Iowa. We're Iowa. We got work ethic. We get things done. We don't need anybody else to tell us what to do. We know what to do, even though sometimes we don't like cleaning out cat pens or, I don't know if they got bowls inside barns anymore. I don't know what we do. But anyway, it's like, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, but we're Americans. We also stand up for America. Be proud to be Americans. And I tell you what, the ones that don't like America, well, you know what I say to them. You know, there's a door that can get out. You just leave. If you don't like our country, go to Venezuela. Go to China. Go to Russia. Go somewhere else different. But don't you say anything to me bad about our country, because I can't say in front of these fine young people what I really like to say. But anyway, you probably catch my drift. But it's so important to know that veterans, some of the veterans I've met have sacrificed everything. I lost classmates in Vietnam. I lost my best friend in Vietnam. I can't tell you enough how much the veterans do, and I'm so glad that this country now is recognizing that veterans are, you know, they need help. 22 veterans a day commit suicide. I think of that and I go, well, you know, I can't say that I never had. I have, but then I say to myself that, you know, God would not let me into heaven if I committed suicide. So then I say to myself, well, you know, what can I do to help? So I send money to things, organizations that help. I send money to the things for Tunnel for Towers, Wounded Warrior Project. And somehow, Shriners Hospital and the one hospital down in Memphis got in there too to send them money. But you know, it's important to do what you can do. If you as Iowans, you know, we know what to do. You don't have to tell us what to do. We know what to do. But I'm so proud to be a veteran. I'm so proud to be from Iowa. And I'm very, very proud to be an American. And like I say, anybody that's got anything to say bad about America in front of me, they better be sitting down, because I will tell them a few things. So anyway, I know there's no question form or nothing like that, but anyway, I was told to keep it kind of short. Did I keep it short enough? Yeah. We've been telling me what to do all the time. It just comes with the territory. But I thank you all very much. God bless you. I love you all. We're Americans, right?
Freedom
November 11th is Veterans Day. A veteran is a soldier who has served his or her country in the armed forces.
The story of Veterans Day begins in World War I. 35 countries fought for 5 years, from 1914 to 1918. The United States fought in war from 1917 to 1918.
Finally, the country stopped fighting. The leaders signed an agreement called an armistice.
They signed the armistice in the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. The armistice meant that the war was over.
Americans were very happy to hear about the armistice. No more soldiers would die in the war. The soldiers could come home.
People went out into the streets and laughed and danced. They blew horns and whistles and rang bells. They sang songs. They thought that there would never be another war.
President Wilson made November 11th a holiday to remember the end of the war. The holiday was called Armistice Day.
At 11 o'clock in the morning, everyone stopped doing whatever they were doing. People were completely silent for 1 minute. This minute was to remember all the soldiers who had died in the wars.
The body of the unknown soldier was brought to America from the cemetery in France. His body was buried in a tomb at Arlington National Cemetery. It was called the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. On Veterans Day, there are special services at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
In 1954, President Eisenhower officially changed the name of the holiday from Armistice Day to Veterans Day. Americans remember and honor all our veterans on this day.
Thank
all the military bugle calls, none is so easily recognized as the call of the taps.
It began during the Civil War when Union General Daniel Butterfield wanted the new bugle call to signal the end of the oil out.
He reworked an older tune into the melody we know today as taps.
It was first played in 1862 and soon became part of military unions for both Union and Confederate soldiers.
It is still played today at military funerals across America.
Please stand and remember those who have died in service to our country as the 6th grade trumpeters play taps.
As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them.
So today we promise that we will remember with honor the heroes who have served to secure our freedom.
We will do our best to make ourselves worthy of their courage and sacrifice.
On Dawn's early lights, we vow to do our best to live with the spirit for which Nathan's veterans so nobly served.
The spirit of courage.
The spirit of honor.
The spirit of America.
Thank you to the members of the American Legion Post 339 for participating in our program. Please stand as the members of the Color Guard retire the colors.
Retire the colors. Out, finish. Forward, arms.